Hello again. Welcome to episode 9. I got a really good pile today. I just decided to watch. There's a bunch here I've never seen before, so they were first time watches. And a couple I've seen lots of times, but wanted to get them in here just so I could talk about them and put them on my list of movies I've talked about and did on my channel. But I am going to, like always, just get straight to it. I don't have much to add today. This is my final episode before I do my top 23 horror physical media releases. So all of next week will be all my it'll be everything I have from 2023, and it will be in order. But yeah, I just want to get right into this because some of these movies are good, and I'll probably talk about them a little more than I normally talk for each one because I like them more. So the first one here is from Blue Underground. This one I'll show you first. This one's called Dead and Buried. This is I believe it's 81. I'll verify that. 1 second here. Yep, 1981. Who directed this? Gary Sherman. So we share a last name. Maybe that's why I like it so much. But yeah, this 4K, I'll start off by just talking about the actual 4K itself. Looks fantastic. Like it's not a 4K that just like scrubs all the grain out and looks like it was filmed digitally, modern basically. It's still got all the nice grain in there. It still looks like a classic film reel. It's not. It's just been up-res so and to fit your TV screen and great sound, obviously. But it's only the 4K, no Blu-ray. I don't believe there's no reverse blur. But one thing I have to shout out quick too, and that's every Blue Underground 4K that I have and have watched have been amongst the best 4Ks in my entire collection. Like they're just like put a lot of love and care into them. Like these guys aren't just cashing in on a new title 4K. They actually do the best scan they can possibly give you and put the work in. But yeah, now let me get to the movie. So this stars it doesn't star, but a younger Robert Englund, 3 years before Nightmare on Elm Street. And I think this is his second horror movie he was ever in. The first one being, what the heck is it called? Buried Alive, I think, is the title. I'm not 100% positive. I don't actually have it, but yeah, this is really good stuff. I love the storyline. It's basically, just to keep it simple without spoilers, guy arrives in a small town and something's conspicuous with the whole town, and I don't want to spoil. If you haven't seen this, there's like a mid-movie twist that I can't, if I even talk a little bit about some of the stuff, it will reveal what's coming. So I'm not even actually going to deep dive on the movie. I'll talk about a scene. There's a really brutal eyeball scene where a guy's laying in his hospital bed, and he's just like, he's got like the full body cast on, and all you can see is his eye. And a nurse comes in and slowly drives a needle right into his eyeball. And it's vicious. It's just gut-wrenching. But great practical. I can't talk about the scenes that use the best practical because they'll reveal what the plot of the movie is. But just excellent practical effects. I would give this like a solid 4 out of 5. For me, personally. Like, I really enjoyed this. I don't know if this isn't one I know a lot about, so I don't know whether it has like a big following, if a lot of people have seen it. I don't know if it's completely unheard of, but definitely give this one a watch. Pick it up if you can. Blue, like I said, Blue Underground, you'll never be disappointed with their 4K transfers, and even their Blu-rays look excellent. These guys put some good effort into their releases. And yeah, this came out, I want to say, like, I think it's less than a year since I bought it, so it's not that long on the market. But yeah, Dead and Buried, give that one a check. Next up here, this one I'm gonna go real classic. This one is called The Phantom Carriage. This is from Criterion. Nice spine there. Yeah, this is Criterion Collection. This is from 1921. So this is like the dawn of horror movies. It's don't let that year scare you though. This movie is, I would say, it's the second best silent film that I've ever seen. I'm not going to tell you what my first is because I'll probably do that one in an upcoming episode. But I watched this even with my wife and kids, and even my daughters loved it. And I was thinking there is no chance in hell that they are going to sit through a silent era film and enjoy it. And at first, they weren't super intrigued, but by the time this movie's over, honest to God, they were both like, what other silent films do you have? And we've watched a couple since then. And sorry, I'm just trying to get comfortable here. This chair I'm sitting on, I need to get a new chair. It's freaking hard on the back and butt. But yeah, they both liked it a lot. And it's Swedish, but that doesn't really matter because it's silent, so it's not like you're going to be reading. Yeah, well, you're going to be doing reading in film anyway. Anybody that's seen a silent film knows that there's lots of moments of text that pops up that's trying to help guide you along with the story in case you aren't being able to piece it together while watching it. It's one thing I love about silent era movies is they absolutely demand your full, like, 100% attention. You can't look down for 5 minutes. You can't, if you gotta go to take a piss or something, you gotta pause it. You can't do something else. And it's why not a lot of people like them at all. But they, like, if you can manage to sit through it, you will be treated to excellent stories on all the ones I've seen so far. And this one, like, I just love that cover too. I will say, without spoiling this, it's kind of like a dark romance tale. Don't let that throw you off if you're a horror fan, because it's a dark romance, but this has a lot of horror elements in it. Like, it's only dark because of the end, like the final act and what happens in it, and it's sad. It's like, it's beautiful actually. Like, the story's so well done, and for being as old as this is, probably not big budget, I'm guessing, because horror movies weren't given very big budgets back then because, well, it's the dawn of filmmaking basically, and they didn't want to risk losing all kinds of money. So it's not big budget, but they do perfect with the sets. There's it's not CG obviously, but there is camera techniques used in this that honestly, like, they would have to be considered revolutionary for the time. I'm not going to tell you the parts because I would this is one that I would want people to actually watch, because I truly think that even like like a silent film hater, which is like probably 95% of the whole world, I'm guessing. Um, if somebody watches this, I bet you any money you'll be deep diving into silent films to see what else piques your interest, because this is a good one. Did I show you anything it comes with? No, I didn't. It's just got nice artwork on the inside there. Very atmospheric. Got gothic as heck. This booklet here, it's got all the cast and credits. And then it gives you a full write-up about how in the late 1800s and early 1900s, this whole story came to be, and how the movie was, I read this one, how the movie was like brought into existence basically and just got made. But it's what it is. And then there's a whole thing on the scores, because the scores in silent film are extremely important as well, in case anybody's never watched one, because silent films technically aren't silent. They have scores happening the entire movies, and it goes, like, it helps piece together what you're watching. But yeah, please check that one out. It's really cool, especially this Criterion. Like, Criterion's restoration on these freaking movies, that, like, this one's 103 years old. Their restoration on this is just, it blows my mind. Can't believe how good it looks. Next up is my weekly dose, my episodic dose of the DC animated universe. This one is Justice League Dark, who I know that one of like, this one's a favorite amongst a lot of DC animated universe. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. But this was a first time watch for this, and this one, to me, it's more like a 3, maybe a 3.5, where the other DC animated movies I've done so far were like pretty much exclusively 4s. This one was a bit of a drop down. Like, I love the opening. The opening has a bunch of people that are like murdering people. Like, one girl's just running people over with her car because she's seeing demons everywhere. And then another woman throws her baby off a roof because she thinks it's a demon. Like, so that's how the movie starts. It's really horror-y. This one would be a good one if you're a fan of horror. And my thing is like the middle act of the movie, where you start to find out what's going on. It didn't intrigue me as much as I was hoping, but I do love the characters on display here, like Constantine, got Batman, Swamp Thing, what the hell's the name of that girl? Katana? No, it's not Katana. It's oh fuck, I'll just cheat. It is Zatanna. I was close, damn it. Dead Man, obviously. Dead Man. Yeah, that's this one. It's this one. Like, it's another one that's totally worth your time. Like, honestly, if you haven't watched any of these, jump in, give them a try. They're good movies. This next one, this is a horror-heavy episode. I didn't realize that, like, even my Justice League one's the only thing that isn't horror that I'm doing in this episode, and even it's horror, so that's pretty well. This one, I don't know if I can show that. Will YouTube take my video down? Okay, so this one, I want, Brendan and Sam, actually, last year from Our Life in Horror, we're at a horror convention, and they took pictures for me and showed me what was on to buy there. And I gotta cover this somehow because there's nudity on this slipcover, and I don't know if your videos get banned if you show nudity or anything. I'm not 100% sure. This is the autopsy of Jane Doe, and it comes with this really nice slipcover. The only thing I hate about the slipcover, and I can't, like, this drives me insane, is that there's no names on the damn spine of it. There's names on the actual movie on the inside, but no names on the freaking spine itself, which is just absolutely silly. But this is a beautiful. I'm gonna take that slip off now though because I probably just showed you nudity on the back. Apparently there's nudity on the back here too. Oh well, whatever. Video gets taken down. Who cares? Yeah. So here's the front of the case. It's really cool. So that slip cover kind of goes with it. As you slide it up, her chest lifts open, right? Just got your straight up disc there. Yeah. Emile Hirsch, Brian Cox, sorry there. I was deciding whether I would show you the just straight up nudity on it. It kind of annoys me because I just don't actually know. But yeah, fuck it. I'm just gonna do it anyway. So there's the back. And there's the actual slipcover. Pretty cool stuff. But I'm pretty sure everybody's seen Autopsy of Jane Doe. Like, I would assume that this movie's love and hate for a lot of people. Like, I know some people that just don't like it at all. I personally love this movie. I think the tension building and the mystery behind her body, and as they slowly open her up and reveal one little piece at a time, and then this creepy stuff starts happening, little thing at a time. I love it. Like, I think this movie's masterfully done. Not everything needs to be like just gore fest to me. Like, I do appreciate a nice, well thought out, long, slow burn type movies as well. And Autopsy of Jane Doe, it was one of my top movies of the year when it came out. What year did this come out? It was like 2014 or something. 2016. I definitely ranked it as one of the top of the year for that year. But yeah, that slipcover. Brendan and Sam bought it for me at a convention. And they got me another one too. I'll throw in a future episode because it's really cool. But yeah, Raven Banner is the ones that put that out. I won't talk too much about that. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen Autopsy. Now this next one is, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's Psycho. This is Hitchcock's 1960 masterpiece, Psycho, on 4K. But this is, I'm like deciding whether I say it's my actual favorite movie of all time. It's my favorite horror movie, if you can call it horror. Like, to me it is pure horror, but some people don't really consider it that horror-y. And it's my favorite horror movie ever made. I think Anthony Perkins here is just phenomenal acting on display. I love that the whole movie starts out as like it's gonna be some kind of film noir, where it's like the femme fatale's robbing money and she's on the run. The police are gonna be after the whole movie, and then like, what, half hour, 40 minutes into the movie, she gets the knife, the famous shower scene. And it's phenomenal work. The camera angles he's using when he's shooting the scenes so that you don't see that it's Norman that Norman Bates is actually the mother, so the way he's shooting, it comes off as like just amazing film work. This is Hitchcock's best film for me, obviously, because it's one of my favorite movies of all time. He does have some other really good ones, though, that would definitely be on my list as well. But Psycho is an absolute must-watch. There's, in my opinion, this is, I know it's not the first slasher of all time, but I honestly think that I know Peeping Tom is technically considered a slasher, and there's a couple other smaller titles out there. But I believe this is the dawn of like the modern slasher movies. I think this one started it all, and that we wouldn't even have any of the stuff we had if all the famous directors didn't grow up watching this. And this 4K too, the sound and picture quality on this thing is freaking unreal. I can't even believe it. The black and whites are so beautiful on 4K. In this one, like they pop so nice on the TV. I just love it. But yeah, most people have seen Psycho. If you haven't, that has to be like at the top of your to-do list. Not just because I say so, like because it's widely considered one of the all-time greatest movies in general. Movies, not just horror. Alright, my last piece for this episode is from Arrow Video. This is the Gothic Fantastico box set from Arrow. 4 Italian Tales of Terror. There's the spine. The back here doesn't have much on it, but this is another one of those really nice hard boxes. I was kind of excited when I got this, even though I had never heard of any of these movies. It just, that the faces on the cover here just kind of excited me. Like they look creepy and gothic to me. So I was super pumped to get this. I'll show you what it came with first. This is the limited edition. Came with this. These are Italian movies, so these are the original Italian posters here for a couple of the films. Got that one, which is pretty cool. And then it came with this thick booklet. Like, that thing's a beast. This is what, probably 70 pages? 80 page book. And it's just it gives you so much info on all 4 of the films in here. It's crazy. Deep dives. You will know everything you ever needed to know about these 4 movies if you read this. But here we go. Let's get to these movies. I'm going to go from my worst. I'll start off at the beginning. That my 4th place one in this box set is still an absolute must-see. And that one is called The Third Eye. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the Italian versions. But it has the Italian reversible art too, if you want to switch them out for that. This one's Il Terzo Occhio. Il Terzo Occhio. I said I wasn't going to try, but apparently I am. The Third Eye here. This one, it stars Franco Nero, actually, which is pretty cool. It's funny because I've only seen him in a couple of westerns like Django, and I recognized him when I was watching it, and I didn't read the backs of these because I just wanted to like fully blind watch them without knowing a darn thing. And I kept going, who is that? Because my knowledge of Italian cinema isn't that deep yet. Like, I'm just kind of getting started. So It's not deep at all, to be honest. And and then it came to me, actually, and then I kind of felt proud of myself for a minute because I actually remembered his name. But this one feels very. It's like along the lines of Psycho, sort of. Like what year did this come out? I just wing these episodes. I don't write anything down. Fully wing them, so I apologize for my lack of knowledge, like stuff that I should already know. I don't even have a year on this. There's no year on these cases. If I had to guess, I would guess that all 4 of these movies are 60s films because of the feel and the look of them. So that's about all the info I can give you there. But this one's my 4th place one, and it's along the lines of Psycho. The acting in all 4 of these are absolutely solid, so I don't need to even go there. There's a few parts that are like that. A couple of the female leads have moments where they're like acting hysterical, where they're like fainting. It's like, oh, like that kind of stuff, and it can throw you off a little bit, but it's not terrible. Like, it's not like, oh my god, the heck kind of shit is that? I watched all 4 of these in their original language as well. A couple of them only come in the original language, 2 of them, and then 2 of them come with English and Italian. But yeah, like I said, all of these are watchable. They all are kind of, you need to see them all. This next one's called The Blancheville Monster. This one, yet again, solid acting. This is classic gothic castle stuff you got going on here. This is, I'll show you the reversible Italian art here. It's just called Horror. It's based on Edgar Allan Poe's The Fall of the House of Usher. It's like its own take on it, and changes a lot and makes it its own thing. And this one's really cool too. Like, it sucks because I want to talk so much about them, but I mean, most people have probably never seen any of these, so I don't want to ruin them, because a lot of the things that you're gonna love, or I think you would love, are moments that I didn't know were coming because I had no idea anything about the movie at all. So when these things happen, you're like, it piques your interest. When you know everything that's going to happen, or even a big portion of it, I find you just sit there waiting in the movie for the parts you know that are coming. At least I do that, so I'm not going to talk a lot about it. But yeah, Fall of House of Usher. Like, it's kind of like that. This one's my second favorite in the set. It's called The Witch. Cool cover there. Cool back. Do the Italian art again. Just like that there. This was gonna be my number 1 in the set. And I would say that this is like a 4 out of 5. Tied with my first place one. But I like the first place one a little more, just because it's more horror than this one. This one is the least feeling horror movie in the whole set. It's basically like this. I'll tell you a little bit about this one, just to give you an idea of what these movies kind of are like. This one has an excellent score. Really cool tribal-like trance. Almost like 60s drug culture type trancey music to it. And so this guy arrives at this old lady's mansion, and he's applying for like a janitor's position because something happened to their previous janitor, and he doesn't he's really reluctant to take the job, and this old lady is like trying to convince him to take the job. She wants him to clean out her library, and how do I say this without ruining the plot? Right as he's about to leave, like a young, extremely attractive Italian woman shows up into the picture, and he suddenly is like, "Oh yeah, I'll take the job," and it's like sexual tension building on extreme levels. She's playing him. She's like giving him just enough to keep him like, I need it. I need you, but not give, like, just dragging him along basically. And then they start throwing a couple plot twists at you. And then they introduce the witchcrafty element. It's called The Witch, so you know that's not a spoiler. And then this one's all about the acting and the atmosphere, so it's hard. Like, it's the way the people are looking at each other and stuff that you can like feel the tension. It's really cool. It needs to be watched. This one's one of the highlights. Now this one, my favorite in this box set, is called Lady Morgan's Vengeance. And this one, although its storyline feels like you've seen it before, it's kind of like classic ghost vengeance tale, basically. But this young woman marries this guy at the beginning. He brings her back to his castle. You find out he's only marrying her for like her riches and stuff. And he's having an affair with their maid. And the maid is like kind of a witch. She possesses the lead actress to do something that changes the rest of the movie. So you think it's just going to be like a gaslighting movie. That's what you think it's going, and then it changes directions and goes in a different route, and it becomes almost a slasher, I would say, at that point. Here's the original art on this one. La Vendetta di Lady Morgan. This one is a 4 also. But honestly, I can't say enough good things about this set. This one really just shocked me. I just couldn't believe how good the acting was, the atmosphere. It's freaking cool. It made me super excited to just deep dive into freaking Italian horror movies, because all 4 of these are so good, and I had never heard of any of them. And if you go on like lists, and like I know on Letterboxd, a site I use a lot, you can put all the movies, you can sort them by year first. So you can click on a year, 1960, we'll say, 1960. And then you can click on genre, and you can click horror. Now, if you were to do that and scroll down, it puts them in like most popular order when you do that. And if you were to scroll down, these are like way down at the bottom of lists where almost nobody would ever even think of watching a movie. They would be down, like if you compared it to modern days, it would be down in like the Sharknado section, cocaine shark and shit like that. Like it would be down in that area on these sites. But these belong at the tippy top of those years. especially for back then. Like even in today's world, they belong in the top category, are on the front page, in with the other ones, so that people can know what they are. They deserve a little more advertisement than what they get, is what I guess what I'm trying to say. They're underappreciated. And that's one thing I love about Arrow. A lot of the boutique companies is that they like to give you the underappreciated movies that should have gotten more light of day and didn't, because of like Hollywood's advertising, the way they do it. But that's my stack for this episode. Absolutely nothing here that I would not recommend. Like, we got 2 4s and 2 3.5 from me on these 4. You got a 5 out of 5 from me on this. You got a 4 again for that. You got a 3.5 again for this. Maybe a 3.5. You got a 4 to 4.5 from me here. And you got a 4 again from me here. And I'm pretty harsh on movie rankings. Something has to really please me in order to get those top scores. And you would not be disappointed. Every one of these are buyers. If I had to tell you the order, obviously I'd say you have to add Psycho to your collection first. And then you'd have to add that Arrow box set second, and then Phantom Carriage, because that's a must-see too, especially for hardcore fans of horror, because it's so cool just to see the movies and films that kind of started the genre. Like, that people took risks, and it's really cool just to see. And then all the bonus stuff, like Criterion, they really give you a lot for what, well, I shouldn't say they give you a lot for what you pay for, because they're not cheap, especially here in Canada. Like, I get paid something like $55 for that, and it's just one of the regular Criterion cases. It's not like the one I did in my last episode, Vamper. Comes in a huge thick box. But solid stuff from all these, and I hope I entice people to give anything you haven't seen on this episode, put it on your watch list, because they'll all be worth it. And that's all I got for movies for this episode. But I have 3 2023 movies left to watch, and I have watched every single one I have at that point. The total is 51. I own 51 2023 movies. So I'll have to divide that into 3 episodes, showcasing 17 each episode. So I'll have to move slightly quicker than normal. Like, how many did I do here? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 to 13 is my normal, and I'll have to do 17 per episode. So I'll have to move through them pretty quickly. So I'm super looking forward to doing that. I can't wait. As soon as I'm done with those 3 episodes, obviously I'll get back to just random stuff. And if anybody has recommendations of stuff you would want me to watch, if I own it, I will put it in my next episode, because I want to see everything, but I only want to do stuff I own. So if I don't own it, I'll either look it up and see if it's available for me to purchase within a reasonable price range. Obviously, I'm not going to pay no like $80 to $100 or something, because I can't get the damn thing. But if it's within a reasonable price range, I will literally buy it and put it in my next episode, watch it. And yeah, so thank you for joining me. You're at my final single digit episode 9. Next week, I begin my next 10. Thank you. See you in a couple days.